Hello there. My name is Dr. Adam McCabe. I'm a psychologist at Counseling and Psychological Services over at Florida Gulf Coast University. And this is just another installment of a series, my Slowing Down series, that I've been kind of developing to help provide ways to help students, and community members, and anyone who comes across this video find ways to navigate this particularly challenging time in light of COVID-19 coronavirus. Today's activity is just another way of slowing down, although something a little bit more active than my last video on kind of mindful breathing. This is about taking an activity that we are used to, or an activity that we have kind of take for granted in some ways, that it's become kind of automatic for us, and to find a way to slow that down, turn automatic pilot off, so that we are able to kind of navigate our lives a little bit differently. Now, this is a mindful walking activity, although I want to remind everyone that this is about our mobility, our movement, and how we get from point A to point B. It doesn't have to be walking itself, but it's about how we move ourselves, and taking something that we've kind of gotten used to, or has been automatic, and kind of turning that automatic pilot off. So however you get from point A to point B, this activity can be appropriate for kind of slowing us down. Once again, mindfulness is about paying attention to our experience as it unfolds from one moment to the next, without trying to change it in any particular way. In its essence, it's about observation and kind of a non-judgmental attitude towards the things we observe, our experiences, our thoughts, our feelings, our sensations throughout our body. So I appreciate you joining me here today as we take a few minutes to practice mindfully walking in a pretty nice spot. So what you want to do is, wherever you find yourself, doesn't matter where it is, if you're walking around your house, in your yard, or a public location, just make sure you have some space around you. And once again, the idea is to focus on moving slowly at first, just noticing your experience, the muscles that you use in your feet, your legs, your body, what keeps you upright, and any other sensations, experiences that come your way. Just acknowledge them, allow them to be there, and then come back to your breath, or come back to your steps. So I'm gonna turn this around, I think. I'm just gonna have us kind of focusing on where I'm walking. Once again, pretty picturesque background. It's nice to do this in a calm location. So the first thing we want to focus on is our feet. Our feet are what grounds us to the earth, to the ground, and it's a place we want to start. And when we're mindfully walking, we want to start slowly, once again, just to kind of get a feel for what walking's all about. Something that many of us have been doing for a very long time, and yet there's an opportunity to come back to it from maybe a fresh or curious perspective, just to kind of see what it's like to walk again. So it's important to start off with just kind of raising your heel, picking your foot off the ground, noticing how your body shifts its weight to the other leg, and even noticing how your body kind of naturally knows what's going to happen next as you take a step down. And as you continue taking these steps, going at a nice slow pace, just notice what it's like as your heel hits the ground, and as you continue to step, moving forward, slowly but surely. In addition to observation, mindfulness is about having a playful curiosity. In other words, we've all been walking. Many of us have been walking for a very long time, or moving for a very long time. And we have our ways of doing it. This is an opportunity to play around with that and to be creative. What happens if I lengthen my step, taking bigger strides? What happens if I take smaller steps? What changes in my balance, my experience? Maybe I can widen my gait, walking like I'm going into tires, or walking like I'm on a tightrope. Keep in mind, none of these are the right way to walk. We're just being playful, practicing curiosity, and just noticing what it brings up for our experience. Maybe you notice that you tend to land on your heel, on your front foot. What happens if you change that? Maybe we tend to land on the outside of our foot or the inside of our foot. Just notice what it's like when you play around, when you try something new. Because in the end, we want to use mindfulness as a way of navigating our experience in such a way that it allows us to be creative and flexible and responsive to our situation, in hopes to find the way that works best for us. In the end, this is not a practice about walking. This is a practice about finding different ways to live well, navigating obstacles and hurdles that we find in our way. And you will notice during this practice, like many mindfulness practices, that our minds tend to wander to other things. Maybe getting distracted by plans for later, or losing our balance, for instance. Just reminding yourself that it's okay for your mind to wander, to go to these other places, as it's what our minds do. Your job is just to notice when your mind has wandered to other things, and to draw your attention back to your steps or your breath, whichever allows you to come back to this moment again and again and again. There is no rush, there is no destination. We just focus on the next step. Well, I appreciate you joining me here today for just another little exercise activity. And keep in mind, this doesn't have to be done walking. It's really about any way that we move around in our world. And the idea is to take something that we often do mindlessly and do with an attentive and gentle curiosity. Maybe a little bit of playfulness added for fun. Once again, I thank you for taking the time out of your day to join me in today's activity. I encourage you to look at some of my other installments about slowing down, as well as checking out the CAPS webpage and our YouTube channel for other tools and strategies to help us move through the now, move through these trials and tribulations towards a better life. Thanks again, and take care of yourselves.